you see an ironsmith, they will have a Devi. If you see a goldsmith, they have a Devi. Farmers have a Devi. Warriors have a Devi. So there's Devi for everything. If you don't have a child, there is a Devi. If your marriage is not happy, they have a Devi. So that's why we've divided everything, that every Devi has a function, and they are directly connected to our existence in terms of either physical manifestations, in terms of money and progress and things like that, or the spiritual manifestations as transcending for better knowledge, higher wisdom, and all of that. We come up to KulaDevi and Grama Devi in the southern part of India. We have a lot of importance of the KulaDevi. It's much lesser in Gujarat. I'm married to a Gujarati family, and they were not even aware of their KulaDevi, and which I found out was very common over here. But in most parts of the country, the KulaDevi is the most important entity. No puja or aradhana or upasana can be done if the KulaDevi is not there. So how KulaDevis came about is that when people started to settle in different areas, in those settlements, they started worshipping that tree or that lake or that river, giving it a form, and then those forms started to connect itself, as KulaDevis. Then they started connecting to the other 7 Sapta Rishis and their Kulas, and from there, so we have the KulaDevis were connected to Agastya or to Kashyapa, to the sun, to the moon. The Grama Devis are Devis that come under the KulaDevis, and Grama Devis are Asthana Devata. So that area, right now you and I are talking on this platform, there is a Sthana Devata over here, and that Sthana Devata is invisible, but it is his territory, and so everything was worshipped with gratitude in the Sanatana Dharma. Every single thing. There was respect for things that we could see and things that we could not see. And that communication that we had with that which we could see and we could not see was Shakti. And that is why that KulaDevi and the Grama Devis are very, very important. Like I know that for Bombay, the Grama Devi of Bombay is Mumba Devi. The Grama Devi of Kolhapur is a Kolhapur Mahalakshmi. So there, for every city, for Bangalore, for Hyderabad, for all the small villages, there are the Grama Devatas and Grama Devis. And that is why they are very, very important. It's becoming a little lost in terms of most parents are not now communicating these things to their children, or they don't have the time to sit with a scripture or dedicate about 10-15 minutes for prayer every day. At least in the north, it's becoming more common. The south, I feel that they still are retaining their traditions. They are still holding on to a lot of these practices that bind them together as a part of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And I think that what this does on a very, very subtle level is to give you this perspective that you are a very small part of a very large scheme. So whenever we start to worship our goddesses, we are kind of bowing down to an energy that is much larger than what we can even visualize. So where I and you stop thinking, those energies start thinking from there. And that is why it's very important to kind of, be very humble and subtle and be grateful for everything that we have. And to make that happen, a lot of these energies have been given names and forms and shapes. It just makes it very easy for us to concentrate and to, connect. So that is why the KulaDevis and Grama Devis, if you've not been thinking about it too much, I suggest that after this talk, find out who your KulaDevi is, who your Grama Devi is, and establish a connection with those Devis through your manasa, through your mind. Yes, so it's written over here, deity of an entire village, not specific to any religion or caste. They're concerned solely with that particular area, and they're associated with businesses that happen there. So if you see an ironsmith, they will have a Devi. If you see a goldsmith, they have a Devi. Farmers have a Devi. Warriors have a Devi. So there's Devi for everything. If you don't have a child, there is a Devi. If your marriage is not happy, they have a Devi. So that's why we've divided everything, that every Devi has a function, and they are directly connected to our existence in terms of either physical manifestations, in terms of money and progress and things like that, or the spiritual manifestations as transcending for better knowledge, higher wisdom, and all of that. So there's a Devi for everything, because that Shakti, that energy is what makes you and me alive and makes this entire universe alive. This is a very scary topic to touch, but I'm just going to brush through it very, very simply, with a lot of gratitude to the Devi, that the Dasa Mahavidyas. So there's a lot of confusion amongst a lot of people. They keep asking ki Navdurga Dasa Mahavidya mein farak kya hai? See, so the Dasa Mahavidya is a form of the first Devi I talked about, who's called as Paramba, who had the third eye and who gave it to Shiva. So the Dasa Mahavidyas, there are a lot of Puranic stories kind of connected to the Dasa Mahavidyas. There is a story where Sati gets immolated in the fire because Daksha Prajapati does not invite Shiva for a very big yajna that he is doing. Shiva refuses to go because he's not been invited. Sati feels insulted that her husband has not been invited. And when Shiva stops her, she takes the form of these Dasa Mahavidyas. And she tells Shiva, you've forgotten who you are. Do you forget where you come from? Do you forget who I am? Do you forget who gave you the third eye? And then she takes these 10 forms. And each of these 10 forms are basically Vidyas or wisdoms, and they basically tell Shiva himself that, listen, you are nothing without these forms of mine. This whole universe is nothing. So either I go, you come with me, or I go alone. And then, of course, we know the story where she goes and she immolates, and then Shiva picks her up, and then, her body, and then he roams around like a wild animal across the worlds, and Vishnu with his chakra cuts her body into 51 pieces, and they fall in different places across the Bharatavarsha, and we call them the Shakti Pithas today. So that is one story. The second story is of the Dasa Mahavidya in the Puranas, is that Shiva and Parvati are playing a game of dice, and Parvati cheats and she loses, and Shiva kind of catches her and he says, listen, I caught you, you didn't do the right thing. And she says that, oh, this is just superficial. I'm actually Adi Parashakti, and you've forgotten that you think I'm cheating, but I'm actually just playing a Leela. It's my Leela. And then she shows her 10 forms, and then Shiva bows down to her, and she says that, and he says that, you are everything. You are the one, and we are all after you. So in our tradition, it is believed that Shakti or Paramba comes on the top, and after that comes all the other Devatas, including Shiva and Vishnu. And so then this is a shlok for it, which encompasses all the 10 names: Kali, Tara, Mahavidya, Shodashi, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasta, Cha Vidya, Dhumavati, Tatha, Gala, Siddha Vidya, Cha Matangi, Kamalatmika, Eta Vidya, Maheshani, Mahavidya, Prakirtita. So it just basically gives all the names and says that these are the 10 forms of the Dasa Mahavidyas. We're going to quickly run through each one, and there is a Bija mantra of each one, which I want you to, because we are touching on the topic of the Mahavidya, we cannot just pass it. We will have to chant the Bija mantra of each of those Dasa Mahavidyas at least 5 times. There is the Mahavidya, she is the first Mahavidya, and that is her Bija mantra of Om. So you will chant it. So you make sure that you're not wearing any footwear, and you sit with your spine upright and just calm down. So we are going to just close our eyes. And the first one is Kali. She is the first Dasa Mahavidya. So you are going to close your eyes, and you're going to be just concentrate on Kali. You know the image of Kali, and then you just tap into that image. Tap into that image, yes, and just chant 5 times. Om. feel the silence inside of your body. So what does Kali do? Kali is like, yes, she's action. She says work has to be done. Everything negative has to be destroyed. And what does Om do? It pulls up your Kundalini energy up to the Sushumna Nadi. That's what she does. She basically aligns your Ida, Pingala and Sushumna so that your Kundalini can rise. Right? She clears all the negative energies in the space. And she's benevolent. She looks ferocious, but she's very benevolent. She's kind. Because if you have to destroy negativity, you have to become an Ugra Swarupa. And she lies on the chest of Shiva. And she says that I am the energy of the sun. And you have to have the capacity to look at me. I'm Kali. And that is why Om is her Bija mantra. So every time you chant Om, you're actually chanting this energy that encompasses her prowess. Right? Aim is our next Bija mantra. And it says aim. So aim and transcends to E and then to Mo. So please close your eyes. This is goddess Tara, and she is perceived as the personification of hunger. Everything that you want to achieve, everything you want to know, everything that you wish you knew is all Tara. She comes with that inquisitiveness inside of you. So her mantra is aim, and we'll chant it 5 times. It's sound energy. Okay, close your eyes. Aim, 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 aim. If you chanted it, you will feel this vibration around your Vishuddhi chakra. And they say that she is the one who stops the poison from entering Shiva's body, right? She also is the bija of Saraswati, of knowledge, of learning. With her Upasana of Tara, she comes in 2 forms, as Tara and Matangi. Both are the same forms of Durga. And Tara basically is goddess for motivation, for direction, for intention. She has the maternal instincts. That's Skanda Mata. So like Skanda Mata, she's more approachable. You can approach her because she's a mother. She's a divine mother. She's not that Ugra Swarupa. Because you have to understand that when you're doing the Dasa Mahavidyas, that involves your deepest dedication into Shakta tradition. And that cannot happen without a guru. Right? But her basic Bija mantras can be chanted by everybody. And they say that if you're really meant to go into the path of worshipping the Dasa Mahavidyas, there will be a way for you. If you're meant to it, if you have the prarabdha, it'll happen to you. Right? So chant this mantra, aim for Tara. And understand that in the Jyotish Shastra, when people who follow Jyotish Shastra, she is Mercury and the moon. So she's expression. When you invoke Tara, so they're very scientific. These mantras, when these Bija mantras in the Sanatana, very, very scientific. And now you know that with the mantras, you can actually cure a lot of diseases. They say that the mantra of Tara, of aim, can cure thyroid, and all kind of depression, mental blockages, pramad, that is laziness. All of this can be cured when you chant the Bija mantra, right? So Tara ko agar आप aim, just chant it, try it out. Only then you know that whether this will work for you or not. And many tantric practices of Tara are done for a lot of material bliss, lot of wealth, because she's directly connected with knowledge. And knowledge can give you the money if you want to go that path. So that's Tara. And I don't know if you're feeling it, but even as I chant this, I feel a lot of energy around me. Maybe because I'm constantly talking about it. She is what we saw in the first story, Tripura Sundari. She's Lalita Tripura Sundari, the most beautiful woman. And she is Parvati. She's the one Shiva marries. Right? And that is why they say that she is presented as a girl of 16, Shodashi. Also the 16 kalas, the moon kala, the sun ka kala. ये बहुत deep है. मतलब हर चीज is interconnected with something else. And when we talk about the 16 colors, we talk about the sun and the moon on her side. You see the moon. The moon on Shiva and Shakti and all the other Devis and Devtas that you see represents the mind. So if you control the mind, you are able to control yourself as a human being. Right? The Dasa Mahavidyas are very close to me, and I, in fact, have been praying to Bhagavati to kind of give me a path where I can, practice their upasana. But again, it's if I have the prarabdha, I'm sure that I'll be able to go on this path, and it's same for all of you. Now, what does the Tripura Sundari mantra, Bija mantra? Hreem, Hreem, prana, space, light. That is what it means. Prana, your pranic energy, you're breathing in and breathing out. If you're not this, you are Shava. You are not Shiva. You're Shiva when you're breathing, when prana is going inside of you. Lalita Tripura Sundari stands for that prana. She stands for that light that you see with it. She stands for dharma. Everything that is supposed to be right. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is a way of life. It is a path, correct? So when we talk about Lalita Tripura Sundari, the Bija mantra is Hreem. So let's chant Hreem, right? Ha, Ra, I, Ma. Hreem. Right? So please close your eyes. Make sure that your back is upright. Take a long, deep breath. Hreem. 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 Stay in this energy for a bit. She activates your Anahata chakra. She activates your Hridaya, right? She's shown with flowers, a nose, a gourd, a sugar cane. All of this represent fertility, an attachment, and attachment of the 5 sense organs. She holds all of that. So what does that mean? That when you chant Hreem, you will learn to detach. You will learn to detach from all of this entire samsara that binds you and stops you from moving ahead in the path of sadhana, in the path of spiritual prowess. Right? She also improves health. So there are people who have terminal diseases, and I have seen this on person, that people with terminal blood cancer, brain tumors have recovered after Lalita Tripura Sundari sadhana. So she's very, very powerful. And that is why, she is directly connected to the sun. So a lot of solar energy, everything that comes from the sun, the sun mantra, the Mitraya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, Khagaya Namaha, Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha, all the practices of Surya, all the characteristic of Surya is held by Lalita Tripura Sundari, and that is why she's one of the most powerful Mahavidyas there is. So your Sri Vidya is directly connected to Lalita Tripura Sundari, and that's why we have the Lalita Sahasranamam. In fact, in southern India, everybody in most houses where they are doing the Sri Vidya Upasana, they will chant the Lalita Sahasranamam. And when you chant the Lalita Sahasranamam, you understand it is nothing about Hinduism. It's about the universe. It's about the world, about the water, about the elements. Right? So please go ahead, no matter which religion you are in, learn to chant the Bija mantras of these Devis, and then if the Devi wishes, she will take you to that path and she will get you to the right place, make you meet the right teachers, so that your Shuddha, the hunger for spiritual knowledge will be satisfied. Next Mahavidya, who is Bhuvaneshwari. She is the moon energy. Lalita Tripura Sundari was the sun energy. She is the moon energy. And she also is a very Saumya Devi. Right? So she is basically money. all the pleasures of the world. A good family, good health, good business, a lot of money, a lot of luxury is all Bhuvaneshwari. And her, so she is a representation of Lakshmi. And so her Bija mantra is Shreem. Right? So we'll close our eyes once again, and 5 times we will chant the Bija mantra Bhuvaneshwari. Shreem. Let's take a long deep breath. Shreem. 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 She is the ruler of your Hridaya center along with Tripura Sundari. Tripura Sundari will capture your heart and give it the stability it requires, so you have the energy of the sun to go to the right path, do the right thing with discipline. Bhuvaneshwari will rule it with luxury, with pleasures, with progeny, with knowledge, with wisdom, fortune. So anybody who is interested in making a lot of money will pray to Lalita, Tripura Sundari and Bhuvaneshwari. Hreem and Shreem. And when you say these mantras together, Hreem, Aim, Kleem, Shreem, Twaim, Ham, it's unbelievable that energy that can come to you. And even if you just listen to it, you will feel very empowered, correct? And because these energies, these sounds have existed in the universe for millions of years. And all the mantras that you know, all these bija mantras that you know, nobody has written them down. They have been floating in the universe, and with concentration, you tap into them. That is what our rishis and rishikas have done. Tapped into it and made it available for me and you. And that is the reason you need to surrender. Bhuvaneshwari stands for surrendering. She has a soothing effect on your mind. The problem is that we will do the japa, but we will not surrender to her. We will not allow her to direct us, to show us the right path. Whenever we do Devi sadhana, Devi upasana, it is about surrendering, allowing the universal consciousness to give us the right path, to move forward, keeping everybody in sync. Like I told you, our Sanatana Dharma is about upayogita and not upabhogita. And what are we doing right now? उपभोग. वी आर, हम सब चीज का भोग कर रहे हैं. हमको एक ड्रेस चाहिए तो हम 50 ड्रेस ले रहे हैं. हमको एक लिपस्टिक चाहिए, हम 3 लिपस्टिक खरीदते हैं. हमको खाना आज के लिए चाहिए, हम पूरे साल का भरते हैं. उपभोग. And that is the reason we are experiencing all these environmental disasters. That is the reason we are also experiencing this disaster inside our own minds. More and more people are getting depressed. More and more suicides are being committed. More and more hatred is being spread on the internet, on social media, in real life. You go to a traffic signal and there are 2 people who came very close to each other. They will get out of their car and they'll fight. This is because the balance has been destroyed. And the balance comes when you understand the difference between want and need. And that difference are given to you by these 2 Devis, Lalita, Tripura Sundari and Bhuvaneshwari. And so when you start invoking them, what happens? You get that energy into you. Now imagine if all over the world, millions of us who are in this world started to understand this. Do you think there would be any war? There would only be peace. There would only be music. There would only be wealth, food, fortune for everybody. And that is why it is so important that if not, we've forgotten to do that, let us come back and let us invoke these beautiful goddesses that are here, and they will come inside you and they will make you them, and they will show you the path of liberation.